Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the final episode of Bot Building. In today's episode, we are going to be creating the final robot that'll start a new competition, and I am very excited for that. So essentially what is going to be happening is once we are done creating this robot, these 16 robots that I've created on this channel will be going together into a competition, aka a tournament, and the winner will be claimed the Robomanian champion. So I'm excited for this. I'm very excited. So without further ado, let's jump into the workshop and start creating this final robot. So we are here in the robot lab and we need to start building a robot, the final robot, and I'm honestly super excited. I'm excited to start this competition because I've been waiting super long just to, jump into this actual fighting, because I believe Robot Rumble 2 is at a point where we are going to be able to start doing tournaments because the damage has been polished a little bit. The only thing so far that we can't really have in the tournament is hammer robots, so that's the only bummer. I left down a poll in the previous episode so you guys can vote on which robot we would be creating in this final episode, and the winner is a vertical spinner with motorized grapplers. This is going to be interesting. I believe, I'm not sure if this is going to be a hammer saw. You know how what is that one robot from Robot Wars? It's one of the house robots, but it has like the clampers on the side and then it uses the saw blade to come down. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have a motorized 2 arms on the front of the robot that'll have a consistent spinning weapon, and whatever happens from there happens, This comment and robot suggestion was left by Robobotic. I hope I said that correctly. It's almost like a tongue twister in my opinion. They wrote, "Can you do a robot that has a vertical spinner that has 2 grapplers on the side of it?" I replied with that post asking, "Are you talking about motorized grapplers or like a wedge grappler?" And they replied with motorized. So this is going to be a very interesting robot, mainly because I'm not exactly sure what we're going to be doing. What I'm kind of expecting to do is almost kind of like a short robot like this, which will it's not going to be square per se, but it's going to have the 2 arms coming out on each side that are going to try to grab a hold of the robot, the opposing robot. But I guess we're going to have to figure that out when the time comes. So let's start coloring this robot and getting it perfect. Alright, so I got the 2 colors that I want to go with. I painted the actual chassis of the robot, the first primary color, and I painted a cube, the second color, which could also be the primary. I'm still kind of debating what I want to do with it. I actually held like a little thing in the Discord. By the way, shameless plug, I have a Discord now, so if you guys want to join this Discord to sign up a robot for Robomania in the future, by all means come and join this Discord and come chat with everybody who's been watching my channel. And if you want to talk with me too, I'm not interesting, but I'm there. There's also a bunch of people who aren't even playing this game, so if you just want to hang out and talk, by all means click the link in the description below. It'll mean a lot to me. So now that I have gotten the wheels and motors that I want to get down, at least, what I pretty much did was I put down the cat motor, the brushless, connected it to a transmission box or a gearbox, and then I put a belt attached to the gearbox, spreaded it to each opposite end of the robot, and then I added the actual wheels to the robot. So I can get the wheels wherever I really want them to go, to be honest, just based off of where I want these belts to go. My plan from here is to pretty much start working on the actual weapon itself, and then I'm going to focus on the grabbers. Actually, no, I take it back. I'm doing the opposite of what I just said. I'm going to focus on the grabbers first, and then we're going to focus on the actual spinning disc itself. So I'm going to kind of mess around with what I want to do based off of, I don't even know where to begin, to be honest. I need to get the motors to somehow look like this in a way. I might have to do the shorter one. And we just want them to kind of just move back and forth and hold. So I got kind of a test thing going on right now. It's kind of like a makeshift grappler. It might end up staying, but I got an idea for this robot, alright? Hear me out on this. So I'm assuming some of you have seen the actual show called Spongebob, huh? I'm thinking about making a Mr. Krabs kind of robot. You know how the whatchamacallit, the crabs kind of have a unique look to them, I should say, to say the very least. About something kind of like this. It's gonna look stupid for a bit, but you guys gotta bear with me on this, alright? Because I think I have a pretty funny idea for what I want to do. These essentially right here, they're going to be moving into about this spot right here so they can grab the robot. And we'll start around here-ish. So I think it'll look pretty good. I'm not sure exactly, though, what the plan is for the actual weapon itself. But I guess we'll figure that out. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to come up with some crazy idea for a Mr. Krabs-like robot. So the next plan that I actually want to start on, before I even do anything, is I need to get this spinning... I'm thinking about doing a spinning drum. Because if I extend the drum out to about right here, and the weapons close down, they can try to hold down the opposing robot while it's literally destroying it. And I'm not exactly sure how it's going to come out, so I'm going to kind of mess around with a drum in a sense, and we're going to try to figure out if we can do it correctly. If not, it's whatever, but... Whew, I have been spending a lot of time just trying to get the insides. This looks like a mess right now, might I add. I spent so long trying to get the insides to work. I added a weapon, and the robot... Oh, well, that's a bad example. The robot does work. As you can see, the claws go up and down, the spinner works. It doesn't spin super powerful, but I'm not really looking for power when it comes to this robot. I'm looking for a grappling robot. And I'm hoping these clamps can kind of do what we want them to do. As for the weapon, I don't know how I feel about it yet. I kind of just came up with a weird little design right here that has a little lip right here that'll hit the robot whenever it comes swinging down, and I believe that is the case. I might actually have to kind of do something like this just so we can make sure that the weapon will hit. Oh my gosh, this robot's crazy. You know what? No, I'm coming up with a better design. I actually kind of want to do a bar spinner in a way. I feel like I've always been doing the drum spinners, at least for a while now, so I want to kind of come up with a bar spinner in a way. But it's not going to be centered, which is going to kind of bother me. I mean, I guess I could always flip around the bot, but I have an idea when it comes to the bar spinner at least. So I'm going to kind of do the same shape that I had, which was this right here. Oh my gosh. This ginormous thing to something kind of like that. And I think this can work out. I need to figure out what's making my robot bounce around when it spawns in. This is the bite that I was kind of going for. It doesn't make the robot bounce around everywhere, which is good. It's something I did not want when creating a robot. And it seems like it can do the job. I feel like I have some faith in this robot. I'm not sure about these pincer arms yet. Just because I don't know if they're not big enough. I don't know how I feel about this yet. But the robot is coming together, and I still have to work on the exterior shape of it. This whole robot is whack, essentially. What I'm going to be beginning to do is work on the chassis of the robot, and hopefully things can start looking like it's coming together. But it's a funny looking boy so far. I mean, it has definitely that Mr. Krabs kind of vibe to it, so I don't know. I'm liking it so far. It's a very interesting robot. Chassis is kind of done in a way. I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's more of just like, let's put the stuff together and see how it looks. And it's very blockish towards the back, so I'm gonna definitely do something back here, but it looks pretty good in my opinion. It looks clean, and I like clean. I do eventually have to make the connectors to the belt because the belt is looking a little exposed in a way. I kept this part down here exposed for the chassis. I'm not sure, to be honest. I feel like the chassis, that part needs to be a little realistic. It doesn't have to be perfect, of course, but this part right here, I think, should be exposed so it looks like the motor for the arms to grapple in onto the opposing robot can have that like space to do it. And I need to somehow make up a custom shape right here, and I think I want to kind of go a little crazy on the custom shape. I'm not sure if that's going to be smart or not, but I guess we'll figure that out. The colors aren't where I want them to be, but the actual robot is where I want it to be. I kind of came up with like a little spiky kind of design for the side, and it's not perfect yet. I still have to cover the belts, but it's looking pretty good so far, if I'm being honest. I mean, I can't complain about this robot. I just gotta get it all symmetric with each other. I want to do something fun with this idea right here that I have going on, and I need to figure out somehow to make this robot look less blocky. That's my number one priority right now. We're closing up to the 110 kilograms, but for now I think this robot does look really good. I don't know, something about it. It's a fun looking robot. It's a unique design, Mr. Krabs. I still, like I said, need to mess around with the colors, so I might make that white. I'm not sure about this yet. That might be white. This is still just I'm debating what I want to do. I feel like it needs that third color because these two, the two primary colors, the orange and the blue, are kind of, they're not offsetting, but they need that third color to kind of move them in together, if you know what I'm saying. They need that one other color to really help bring everything out together. So the design that I'm coming up for with this, I'm trying to come up with a different style of body armor in a way to where the robot can... My whole purpose of doing this is to have extra armor on the robot and not look so boxy, because I just wasn't a big fan of the boxiness that we had on the robot, and I feel like adding this can really help with the design and almost make it kind of stick out a little bit, you know? It's not going to be perfect on the sides, but it's going to look something like that. It has that like nice little, almost like a water splash. That's what I was kind of going for. I might do the same thing here, and then I'm thinking about doing something back here and on top of the robot as well. But I guess we're gonna have to mess around with it. I'm already overweight, which is fine. I can always just work on the weight of the robot afterwards. Like, I'm pretty sure this is heavy, so we could just, you know, stuff like that. But I'm gonna kind of just mess around with this robot and see if I can get like a nice little design going, because I feel like we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere nice that I want to be, you know? And once we're past that, I think this robot will come out really cool looking. Alright, this is coming out pretty good so far. I'm actually really enjoying how this robot's looking. The whole premise to what I'm doing essentially is I'm just making everything look sharper, and I think sharper on this robot, especially for a crab theme. Crabs scare me, by the way. They're one of my, not biggest fears, but they're one of my fears in general. And something about crabs just they scare me. They got so many points everywhere. They're so vicious, but they're just like little bugs in the water, and I don't know. But I created a wedge on the back, and I did like kind of a fun little design back here, kind of spread it out, made it look different. Like I didn't want any part to be even with each other, and I think it came out pretty good, to be honest. I like how it's looking, and I think this robot's getting close to being complete so far. It's overweight, but that's fine. The one thing that's bothering me is just this part up here. Now, what should I do for this part up here, might I add? I want to do something fun. And I think the one thing that I want to do is, because somebody posted in the previous episode, how do you make a gradient color scheme because I showed one of my builds that had a gradient from one color to a different color, and I had like a kind of little thing going on. So I might just have like a little spot either right here or right here, just to kind of pop it out a little bit. So I'm gonna create a small little thing, and I will be back when we have to figure out the color part. As you can see, I've placed down 6 different types of half cylinders right here. Now, they're all different colors and they look really weird right now, but what I'm going to be doing is adding a gradient to this based off of what I want. So I'm going to hop into not this game, which is going to be weird, so give me 2 seconds and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so I am on my web browser right now, and there's a bunch of websites out there that you can find to do this. So all you gotta do is type in like hex color gradient, and then boom, you have what you need for this. But I typed in the 2 colors that I want to go from. So this is the blue color that I have in this robot, and then this is the orange color that I have in the robot. And all I did was I typed in the hex for it, and boom. So I have 6 different cylinders, so I want this to go up to 6. So we're going to be going from orange to blue, and we're going to get these colors in between. Now I'm about to throw a lot of math out at you guys, so you guys got to be ready for this, all right? You guys got to be ready. So what we're going to be doing is going from this color to this color. And we got these 4 colors in between. And how do you get hex colors in this game? Because all you got is RGB. It's not the most ideal way to get the colors you want, but there's an easy way to do this. So the first color that I want to go from after the orange is going to be RGB 254, 0, and 56. So if I type that in right here, 254, 0, and 56. It's not the color that I want. It's more of like a reddish color. So the best way to do this, in my opinion, is the first one is 254. So you divide that by 300, and this might not apply all the time. Usually if it's like 254, I go to the next 100th up. Let's just say it was 154, I would go to 200 then. But 254 divided by 300 comes out to being 0.84. So that's the first color. 0 is going to be 0 when you divide it by anything, so that's good. And then when you divide 56 by 300, you get 1.8666 repeating, and then that's the color you get. And this is exactly dead on from what I want. So I'm going to do that with all of these for the next 3 colors, and we're going to have our very own gradient. And voila, we have our color gradients. Just like that. Pretty easy. It's nothing crazy. You just have to understand you essentially have to understand the calculator, pretty much. But it looks pretty good. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's going to add that one little touch that this robot needed. And I think this robot, guys, is done. I need to set the weight to the accurate amount. So I'm going to do that real quick. And then I'll be back for nuts and bolts. Alright, the robot is down to 109. And it is time for nuts and bolts, guys. Nuts and bolts is my favorite time of the year. It just makes me so happy. So, without further ado, let's jump into this. We have a lot of spots, in my opinion, for nuts and bolts. So let's jump right into it. Nut and bolts. Nut and bolts. A schmat and nut. Nut and schmat. A nuta and a boota. A schnoota and a boot ho. Nut and bolts. Nut and bolt. Nut and bolt. Yeah, nut and bolt. Nut and boot. Nut and bolt. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, nut and bolt. Nut and bolt. Nut and bolt. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nut and bolt. 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 Over here as well. One right there. Yeah, we did it, guys. We did it. Nuts and bolts over. Look at that. This robot looks pretty cool. I mean, it's weird, but it's cool. I like this robot a lot, actually. It's a very, very unique robot. I haven't seen a robot as sharp as this in a while. And it looks pretty good. I hope it does a decent amount of damage, but it's going to be hard to tell. So, without further ado, guys, let's jump into the Robomania Arena so we can fight this robot off. I forgot to mention I need to name this robot. I can't just have it be called unnamed robot when it fights. I think we're going to call this King KRABBY. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I like King KRABBY. It works. It can work, right? Maybe? I don't know. Alright, we are here in the Robomanian exhibition spot, and we are about to have King KRABBY go up against PackAPunch. I'm excited for this fight because both these robots are kind of unproven in a way. They're not the best. If either of them get flipped, they cannot self-right, so I think this is the best matchup just on paper, and I am excited to see how this one comes out. So without further ado, let's jump into it. King KRABBY and PackAPunch. I'm curious if I AI'd King KRABBY correctly. It looks like I did so far, which is good. That's what you always want to see, you know. Oh man! Oh, instantly, PackAPunch is caught on fire. Can still move though, which is good for PackAPunch. This fight is not over yet. I'm pretty sure that is either a battery or an ESC. It's going to be hard to tell. But it's going to be something. I'm not sure what it is. There is a lot of fire coming out. I still have to get my camera angles correct before the actual competition starts. But it looks like King KRABBY is a vicious looking robot. I am very excited to see how far this robot can get. A huge hit right there. PackAPunch is on its heels at the moment, getting pinned up against the wall. Just over 150 left, or just under now. Interesting fight. This robot looks pretty good, I have to be honest. I'm really happy with how it came up. There's a lot of smoke in this arena at the moment. You can barely even see what's happening in the fight. Wow. There is I don't think I've seen this much smoke come out of a robot before, and it could still move properly. They're getting pushed towards the other corner. It seems like King KRABBY has been in control of this entire fight so far. Like, there's been no points in this fight where it's been pushed up against a wall. It did take one good hit, maybe two good hits at the beginning of the match, but that was about it. And I'm not exactly sure. I'm excited for this competition, though. It's going to be starting right after this episode, and we're going to see who is the best robot. It's going to be fun, guys. It's going to be fun. Just under a minute left in this fight. More smoke coming out of PackAPunch. Oh my goodness. I'm curious to see if I also made King KRABBY last a full 3 minutes, which is going to be interesting to see. It seems like it's still functioning perfectly. And now PackAPunch is being counted out of the fight with just under 30 seconds to go. And this fight is over with 22 seconds left on the clock. Well, guys, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. We have a very fun future coming up within this next month or two. There is going to be a lot of destruction that's going to be happening on this channel, and I'm excited to see how it's going to come out. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this series, this playlist, the thing that we've had going on for the past, I don't know, 3-4 months. Let me know what you guys thought of it. I really have put a lot of time and effort into doing this, and I just do it all for your guys' entertainment. So with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, night, weekend, or weekday, whatever it may be. And without further ado, I will see you guys in the Battle of the Rookies. Have a good one.